What's up, Marvel fans? I'm the Master of Movies, Clay from the Hills Maniacs, and today I'm going to be giving you the inconsistencies I found in Captain Marvel. So I wanted to do this video today because I've been rewatching the MCU, with adding in the new things where they fit the shows and all that kind of stuff, and I did an inconsistencies video on Captain America: The First Avenger. So chronologically, in timeline order, Captain Marvel is the next movie. So I figured I'd do one for this and see what kind of inconsistencies I found in one of my least favorite MCU movies, and that being Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, guys, but it's one of my least favorites. I don't like it. So if you're new to how I do my inconsistencies videos, what I do is I basically rewatch a movie a few times and write down things that either plot points that are never filled, or questions that go unanswered, and it's like, why was that asked, why is this question not being answered, what's the importance of that, whatever, or just maybe things like background details that probably shouldn't have existed, like if there was a reflection of a cameraman or something, which I've seen in a couple other movies that I've rewatched with my inconsistencies. So if I have other ones on this channel other than just Captain America: The First Avenger, so you can go check those out when you're done watching this. And these are in no particular order. Like, I don't go in the order that they happen in the movie, because I rewatch it a couple times and just write them down as I see them, and I might not catch something right away the first time, so these might be out of order a little bit. So the first one I want to talk about is, and I guess this could just be like a space thing, because it happens all the time in like space movies, Star Wars, this happens and stuff, but when Carol is kidnapped by the Skrulls, she steals a Skrull ship, but Talos shoots the controls, and yet she still somehow manages to be able to fly the ship enough until it lands on Earth, and Talos and them follow her. So I guess it could make sense. Like, I don't know how electronic stuff works like that. So like, if you shoot a vehicle, is it gonna keep going? I don't know, but I would figure the functioning would stop if the controls get shot, but yet it somehow still works to an extent. I mean, it does crash, but still. So I guess it's not that big of an inconsistency, and I guess it could be explained, but it was just something that for me doesn't really make any sense, and I know it happens all the time in movies like this. The next one I want to talk about is when we see the flashback of Carol and Mar-Vell, the explosion from the core which gives Carol her powers. Why didn't it kill her? What made her special that she could absorb that energy from the core that explode, the energy core? Like, did she have something already inside her that just maybe got activated when the energy core exploded, or was there just something special about her that maybe the core could sense it or something? And it was never answered either. I don't think anybody's ever even questioned it. Like, how did you not die from that? Like, she should have died from that explosion. Like, it would have killed any normal person. So I don't know why because at that time she didn't have her powers. That's what gave her her powers. So how did she not die from that explosion? The next one I want to talk about is later on in the movie, when Carol ends up realizing who she was, and that Talos is actually good, and they try to find Mar-Vell's lab in orbit, around Earth. The science guy couldn't figure that out, but she did. So she, on their ship that they made, Carol knows how to deactivate the lab. How is she able to just, oh, here, let me click this button, deactivation, cloaking deactivated, and things like that? Like, how does she know how to do that? There's no manual in a normal spaceship that says, "Hey, click this button to deactivate Marvel's lab." So like, how does how is she able to do that? And if it's something in her subconscious, like we never really see that encounter between her and Marvel to where Marvel told her all of that, because by the time of the crash, when Marvel ends up dying, Carol still really didn't know much, and then Marvel tells her that she's a Kree, and she's trying to help the Skrulls and stuff, and she has to get to her lab. Gave her the coordinates for it, but she never told her how to deactivate it. You know, the cloaking at least. So like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I guess it could be like, oh, maybe Carol has that technology from her days with the Kree and things like that. But it just doesn't really make any sense that she's able to just do that with the click of a button. I guess another one of the big questions is, because the Tesseract was something that Marvel used to create her energy core and things. And so, how did Marvel come into possession of the Tesseract? Because this takes place before Avengers, and it's after Captain America, the first Avenger. So we know that after Captain America, the Tesseract was left in the ocean. How did Marvel come in contact with it? I guess it was because she was working on Project Pegasus and things, so it was a government thing, so maybe the government already had it. But again, they never really explained that. Like, they could go into it. I know it's not that important of a thing, but like, you could go into details and say she got this from whoever, you know, and this is why she has it and how she got it. But they don't really do that. And on that note of the Tesseract, you know, we saw in Captain America that the Tesseract couldn't be held by specific objects, I guess. I mean, I guess it was in the wall, so I don't know how the casing around that thing works, but like, nobody can touch it, you know, no mortal can touch it, because of the, you know, the Infinity Stone. But in Captain America, the Tesseract falls through the floor of the Valkyrie after it's used and sends Red Skull off into space and, you know, to Vormir apparently, because that's how Space Stone works. So why is the lunchbox able to hold the Tesseract? You know, something as minute as the lunchbox that they put it in, just a human creation, just able to hold this. I mean, the wall did it, and hey, Goose was able to eat it, so, you know, the Flurkin Goose was able to eat it. So I guess anything's possible. I don't know, but it's like the coat rack holding Mjolnir. Like, is it worthy of holding Mjolnir? Well, is the lunchbox worthy of holding the Tesseract? Because I don't think it should have been able to work, but the only other time we've really seen it inside something other than, you know, a specially made artifact was the wall at the beginning of Captain America. But other than that, really nobody can touch it, and it fell through the floor of the Valkyrie, so it shouldn't have been able to necessarily just be thrown around in a lunchbox and just, you know. And how was the lunchbox big enough to hold it? Because it seemed like a pretty big cube. So, you know, a lunchbox, a normal sized lunchbox is just, like, it just doesn't seem like it would be small enough to fit in the lunchbox. But I don't know. I don't make lunchboxes or Tesseracts, so it could have been bigger. I don't know. And then the next one I want to talk about is, since when is the Supreme Intelligence a portable thing? Because if you watch Captain Marvel, the Supreme Intelligence is the AI leader of the Kree civilization on Hala. It's who they go to. It takes the form of whoever they admire most or something like that. And for Captain Marvel, she sees Marvel or Wendy Lawson. And, you know, everybody sees somebody different, but that's what gives them the authority. You know, that's the authority figure of Hala. It tells them what to do, where to go, things like that. So we see that when they capture Carol again after she goes and finds the Kree spaceship, that they basically like tie her to the thing, and the Supreme Intelligence gets into her head. So like, is it just like a portable thing? Like they just carry it in their back pocket? Like, oh, here, let's summon the Supreme Intelligence. Like they can't. Like I didn't know that was a thing, because when she's on Hala, she goes to this big palace and has the Supreme Intelligence, inside, and she goes and connects to the thing, and the Supreme Intelligence shows up and talks to her. I didn't know it was just like a portable handheld device that you can just turn on, and hey, there's the Supreme Intelligence there to tell you what it is, unless it's fake, and in which case we could find out in the Marvels. I don't know if it's going there or not, but they never really talk about how they were able to just bring the Supreme Intelligence with them. They just carry it around, I guess, and he just whatever, and who knows who he looks like, so he could have been there the whole movie. We wouldn't even known that it was the Supreme Intelligence. And then I guess the final inconsistency I want to talk about is, why is this movie in existence? And I'm being serious here. I'm not joking around. Like Captain Marvel, I figured they would have like this big build up to Endgame when she comes in and she's... Nope. Really, Captain Marvel, she could have just not been here, and nothing much would have changed. Sure, Tony Stark might have died, but who cares? No, I'm kidding on that part. Tony Stark was important to the main plot. I get that, but really, you could have had somebody else find them in some way. You didn't have to have Captain Marvel. And the movie itself was kind of a mediocre movie. It is one of my least favorites, so it really doesn't have to exist as part of the MCU. But it does. So anyways, guys, there you go. That's all I found for inconsistencies in Captain Marvel. For as much as I despise this movie, it only had a few inconsistencies in it that I caught. I'm sure there might be other stuff that I missed. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not perfect at doing these by any means. So if you haven't already, go check out the Captain America the First Avenger inconsistencies I did. Go check out some of the other inconsistencies videos that I have on this channel. Stay tuned for what else we got going on. I might be doing inconsistencies sometime down the line on the rest of the MCU. I might include the TV shows or the Disney Plus series in them, and if there's any specific movies that you would want to see an inconsistency video for that I haven't already done, maybe Star Wars or Harry Potter or something, just let me know down in the comments. Stay tuned for what else we got going on. Leave the scumbaggery at home, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Subscribe.